So I'm here today with Carrie, and Indy might actually appear in the call as well. She's definitely on the sidelines. And Carrie and Indy have been through the Foundation for Life program in the last, say, 4 months, 4 months. And we're going to share a bit more about what that experience has been like and how it's helped over the last few months. So if you don't mind, Carrie, could you tell us a little bit more about where you are in the country, a little bit about Indy, and we'll start there.
Okay, yeah.
Amazing.
Well, in spite of the accent, I live down in Lincolnshire, originally from Scotland though. But yeah, I live down in Lincolnshire now. I got Indy, well, she's 18 months old. I got her as a 10-week-old pup in the middle of lockdown. Been looking for a pup for a long time, but I was going to wait till I retire, and then COVID hit, so it seemed the ideal time. Always wanted a Cocker Spaniel. Didn't know what I was letting myself in for. I had been, my daughter had been living with me, and she's got a Cabochon Milo, who's the most laid back, quiet, calm dog you can get. And then I go and get a whirlwind that was the exact opposite. I wouldn't change her for the world, but she's taught me so much. You know, it's a constant challenge with Indy. She's so fast and so quick at everything she does, and always at high arousal. And that's the biggest challenge I have, really, is managing that constant high arousal. But yeah, typical Spaniel.
Typical Spaniel. So if we kind of roll the clock back a little bit to when we first spoke, before you joined the program, basically, and we were thinking about, you know, is it going to be right for you? What were probably the challenges that you were having at that point that made you decide to join the program?
My biggest challenge with Indy was walking on a lead. So she's a quick learner, and she would learn lots of things inside. And I'm a perpetual course joiner. And I've tried so many online courses and in-person courses, and had a lot of success with them, but just could not crack the walking on a lead. And that was a really big thing for me, because I've got a dodgy ankle, I've got a bad ankle, and I've got a bad back. And it was getting to the point that the constant jerking and pulling was actually creating a lot of pain. And it was causing so much frustration. It was really impacting our relationship. And that was why I'd done super sniffers first. Yeah. And because I thought that's a really good, being a spaniel, sniffy spaniel, I thought that'd be great for it. And it was fantastic. So I knew your style of teaching, Anne, and I really liked the simplicity. It was easy to follow. I didn't have to think too much. I think that was genuinely it. I had so many half-finished courses that I've bought. I've still got loads sitting waiting that I'm partway through that to carry on, but too much choice. I just had so many things, and what do I do now? Do I move on to the next one? This was just so straightforward and simple. And the one thing I needed to crack was walking on a lead. More than anything else, I could cope with the madness and other things that she does, but the walking on the lead was critical for me. Yeah.
And I mean, when you put it in those terms, like real life, that's having a real life day-to-day impact. Yeah, because there's pain involved there. That's you know, you know me, I'm quite light-hearted about most things, but I don't, you know, the seriousness of actually living with a dog and the challenges that it presents aren't lost on me, and I do totally appreciate how that can have an impact. So because of the kind of the pulling on lead and stuff, was it causing you to be restricted at all at that point, or were you just kind of putting up with it at that point?
Yeah, it was, I'll say it was the pain. I think just before the Foundations for Life, we'd been away on a family trip, mum and dad, my daughter and the 2 dogs. And we'd been part of that. We were walking through towns, and I ended up not able to walk because when we walked through town, it was about the second day of the trip, the holiday. We were just away for 3-4 days. But the sudden jerking as Indy would dart one direction or the other made me put too much weight on my ankle, and it meant I couldn't walk. So it was impacting my life and what I could do, and spoiling the holiday, because then I couldn't take part in things that I wanted to do. And then I was resentful, and we were all miserable. So it wasn't great.
Yeah, so it's definitely having a kind of proper impact. So how has the program helped you then? What has it done, and how does it look in real life now? How's it looking?
I love taking her for walks now. And I take the 2 dogs for walks, and I've got them both walking so nicely beside me. She just walks next to me. She just wants to be there. This is the whole environment. So I think when I say that, I'd say, oh, it's the norm now. Walking in a loose lead is the norm, Lindy, when we're walking around the streets. A new environment, you'll still get excited. But I think the difference is now I've changed. I've changed significantly. I don't get stressed out anymore. I find it. I can read her better. I understand her. And if we're in an environment where I know it's not right for her, I change it. I just change the situation. Whereas before I would fight with her and I'd be trying to keep it aside and she'd be jerking, I'd be in pain and it would just be miserable. Now it's great fun. I love taking her for walks. We go out all the time. And I actually had someone comment to me, actually just this morning it was, we were over in the field, there's a field behind my house that we walk in, and a lady with a greyhound came walking through the field, and I just called Indy over beside me because she was on a long line just trailing. And she sat beside me while they walked through, and she shouted over, "I can see all your training's paying off." And it was so nice to hear.
Yeah.
And I've had walking through local woods, I've been walking down there, and I've had so many people stop and comment and say, "Doesn't she walk lovely now?" Who's seen what she was like before? So other people are noticing as well. But it just feels good. Feels so nice to be able to go out and not worry about your arm being yanked off, or, you know, what direction you're going to go in next. She just stays with me. It's really.
I think from the, you know, from the just a very real kind of like pain-free version of a walk, I said, well, what I was going to say was, the bonus is, you know, you don't do it for other people's opinions really, but to hear that people are noticing is a real boost, because you have put a lot of effort in. And I have said a few times to people who I speak to about Foundations for Life in general, is like, dog training doesn't happen by osmosis. We can't like watch the information on the screen and it just happen. It's like me wearing my, you know, my Lululemon leggings and all of a sudden I'm fit. I'm like, no, I have to actually do the work as well. So it is testament to the amount of like effort that you put in. But the nice thing is the effort is fun, or it should be fun.
Yeah, it's been, and this course, fun doesn't even cover it. It's been hilarious. There's been such silly stuff we've done in the course, and I think the whole group and the whole community that this course provides has just been fantastic, and it has been really hilarious. We've done some daft stuff, but it's just made it really fun. It's really good fun to train, and I think that makes it so easy. If you're enjoying it, the dog enjoys it, and I think that's what I was meaning when I said earlier, it's changed me. I'm not uptight at all. But sometimes when I walk, I'd be tense. And now I realise how much that was making her. The more I'd be tense, is she going to jerk this way or that way? The more she'd actually be wound up herself. And she's much calmer and I'm much calmer. And it's just much more fun.
Yeah. So you did mention that you have done other, like you had a serial course collector, both in person and online. What would you say, is there anything about Foundations for Life program that's different to anything that you've done online in the past?
Yeah, the one thing that is absolutely unique to this course, and it's the best thing about, well, not the best thing about it, but one of the best things about it, is the Zoom calls with yourself and with the group. That face-to-face, that, I know it's not virtual face-to-face, but that being able to actually talk through what's pertinent to you and your dog, and to learn from what other people are asking, and that whole question answer session that we have every fortnight, that is so unique to this course that I think for me, and I can speak with authority because I've done so many, you're on the end of a, you know, on other courses, you watch the videos, you do the thing. Yes, you can post things in a group and you can get feedback on Facebook, but you don't have that face-to-face, that being able to ask the question that you might not want to put in writing because it might feel like a stupid question, but you can ask that question, you can have that conversation, you feel safe to do it. And I think the other big difference is you're not a number. You feel like on this course, I feel like you know me and you know my dog. So any advice is directed for us. It's not just generic advice that you give anybody with a crazy spaniel. It's advancement for us, our combination, how we work together. That's the bit that for me is unique on this course.
Amazing.
And it really is. It's worth so much.
Yeah,
to do that.
Yeah, I think for me, from a dog trainer's point of view, you know, it's important that I know about you and your dog. And that's why I invite people to like hop on a call first, because not every course is right for every person and not every trainer is right for every person. So it's important for both sides is that I understand already before we even start the course a bit more about the position that you're in, so that when we start the course, we're kind of, I feel like I know you already, and vice versa. So it does make for a different feel, I think. So it's amazing to hear that. So were there any results that you experienced that you weren't really expecting, or that kind of pleasantly surprised you, anything like that?
So I'm still shocked at the walking, how well she walks off lead, you know, off lead and on lead, but how close she's to me. But I think it's just that her wanting to be close to me. The recall is I wouldn't say it's 100%. I don't think it'll ever be 100%, but it's I think I'd say it's 95%. Our recall's really good now, even when environments are challenging. And one of the big challenges we faced is ducks. Ducks were Indy's nemesis. And yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yeah, Sunday, where we walked past 2 duck ponds with, must have been 20, 30 ducks on the water. And we played games on the path at the side of the duck pond. And Indy's focus was on me. She was playing the game. She was doing, you know, coming at the spotlight, playing the invisible bungee game. The ducks were just not even there as far as she was concerned. I knew she was aware of them. She did look at them when we first arrived, but she was more interested in playing games. I was actually more fun. And I think that one is still, sometimes it shocked me when I'm out that she actually prefers to be with me than these other things. If there's dogs around us, she's not bothered, she stays with me. It's that kind of thing. It's just that one word and she says, right, what we're playing now, and she's back over. And that's so nice to have as well.
And sort of going back to the walking on lead result, the peculiar thing about that is we don't really focus on walking on lead specifically, do we?
It just creeps up on you. It just suddenly happens, and it's like all the games we're playing, and then I'm walking along and we're playing the game, and then we carry on walking and she's there. Or I've told her to go sniff and she's on a big long line and she's still at my side. She's just
like magic
to be there, and it does creeps up on you. It's not, we don't train walk beside me. She's playing the games and she wants to be beside me, and that's the biggest bonus, I think, having a dog that wants to be close to you.
Yeah, because a lot of people will ask me, you know, what will the course teach my dog to do, and it depends on whose dog it is as to what it is you want them to do, as to what it will make them do. It's a very strange thing to try and explain, but essentially what we're trying to do is just take our focus, aren't we, off these, like the big challenge, which is walking on lead. Focus on some other things for Mo. Mysteriously, walking on lead gets better for you know, in your case.
And absolutely, and I think for us, what I say to anybody else starting the course is just enjoy it, trust the process, just do what they get, play the games, and don't think about where you're trying to go or what you're trying to do. Because when I stopped doing that, okay, the big thing I wanted to achieve was the walking on the lead, and we've got that. But I wasn't thinking about that. I was dancing around playing Saturday Night Fever. Don't want to give any secrets away. But I was playing silly games and just having fun. And really enjoying myself and not thinking about walking on the lead. And it just happened. It came from that. And I think it's just about, don't think about what you're trying to do. Just play the game as it's designed to be played. And in the stages, because now I'm back doing it again, I'm playing the same games, but in a different way, because I know more this time round, and I'll keep repeating it and going over it and over it again. I don't think there's ever a walk we don't play the invisible bungee game, ever. Every walk we play that at some point. We always spotlight. We always play some of the games on every walk without even thinking we're playing them. It's just normal walks.
Just becomes part of. It's like, it doesn't feel like training then, does it? It doesn't feel like a work. It just is like just part of everyday life, and it's quite cool and it's fun to do. So
absolutely. And I think the neighbours around here, because I say, and now I'm often walking 2 dogs. I'll be walking through the woods with the 2 dogs, and I'll suddenly stop and walk backwards. And I'm just playing a game. I think people around here have got used to me. Don't go too close to my
She's like, she's forgotten where she's going again.
we just jump into games every now and again, and the dogs absolutely love it. So my daughter's dog, who I'm now looking after, he's very laid back, but he's bouncing with life now, just playing these games. He perks up, oh, we're going to play, and he's coming running back to me, and he's not a dog that runs very often. So it's really nice to see that change with him as well. Yeah.
What's nice for me, you know, is that not every dog is the same age, stage, type of dog, breed of dog. We've got all sorts of different breeds, yet elements of the course can help different dogs. So even like, I know Milo's not specifically on the course, but that, you know, the same framework brings out a maybe more confidence in him, a bit more life in him, you know, all these things. So depending on the dog, depends on the benefit. So it's been amazing for me to watch all that. So if there was anyone sort of sitting, listen to this, who's like on the fence or isn't sure whether Foundations for Life is for them, who would you say it's best for? And
absolutely everybody that wants to have a relationship with a dog. If you want to have a dog that you enjoy being with, that enjoys being with you, this is the course you need to do, because it's, for me, this is that the connection, the first part of the course, all about the connection and the communication as well. It's just to be able to understand your dog. I've learned so much about Indy and what I was doing that was actually making her worse, and what she likes and what I was one of these people that would feed. Everything was about feed. I still use food a lot because she loves food. But now we have much more rewards. It's so good when you can go out for a walk and not worry about, have I got my pocket full of treats or kibble with me or something to reward her. What if we come out, I used to think, well, I better have something with me, because if we come across another dog, I've got to distract her, I've got to use the food. Now I don't bother. Even if I've not got a toy with me, my glove will do. You know, it's whatever we've got, we just make a game out of it. We just play, or just me and just her chasing me and playing with it. And she's rewarded by, when we're out off lead, because I've got great off leash freedom as well. I know the times when I know the environments where I can't let her off because it's too much for her. I've learned much more about her, but where I can, her recall is good. I say that when I say her recall is good, I don't even recall her. I don't need to. She comes back. She comes back herself. You know, she checks in and comes back all the time. In fact, I hardly ever recall her because mostly she's coming back herself. But she's, and her reward is being sent out again to go sniff. So what I've also learned is I don't have to rely on food, which was something I would use all the time. And there's so many different ways of rewarding her. So that was a huge learning curve for me. I mean, I've always known she's always loved playing tuggy, but now I know how she likes to play tuggy, and we were doing tuggy wrong. We now know how to tuggy. I don't do anything anymore. She does all the work now. But I'll just to learn how to just do something like that, simple thing like a favorite game, playing it in a different way is so much more fun for me, not getting my arm shaken off anymore, but more fun for her. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, such a big piece of the puzzle.
So, I can't imagine anybody this wouldn't work for, because anybody with a dog wants to have that connection with their dog, and that's what this course gives you. And that connection, that understanding, you start to read your dog, you start to know when to do things and when not to do things, and that means you get more successes because you're choosing the right times to do stuff, and then you get the wins. And once you start seeing the wins and recognizing the wins, you get more of them. And I think that's the good thing. It's about, we only see wins now. It's like, if we're somewhere and something's not working, we change it so we get a win. So we don't get any failures anymore. We get wins all the time. Yeah,
amazing. I think actually, for, you know, what you're bringing out there about understanding what the dog needs when. In fact, it's just understanding about your dog, how to train and connect and all that kind of thing. When you can understand these kind of what I would call are these kind of basic fundamentals that really don't change and they're never going to change as long as you have dogs. That's not going to change. The method of delivery might change over the years, you know, but essentially those fundamentals always going to be the same. If you can understand those, and that's to me what Foundations for Life does, it sort of gives you the absolute nuts and bolts of what having a dog and living with a dog really like harmoniously, if you like, understanding each other a lot better, much more in alignment, rather than like I've got this dog and they're over there and I'm over there and we're in two different kind of planets almost. So it's to me, that's what the program is ideally looking to do, is to bring those two kind of pieces together so that you're much more working together. So if someone was, oh sorry,
the other thing I would say is it's never too late. So it's not thinking of, oh, my dog's older now, so it's we're too late, we've missed the opportunity. It's not. It's, you know, you can play this with any age of dog. You know, Milo's a bit older, but he's started to play, and he's really, and I've always played games with Milo when he was younger, so he's used to games. But this is it's different. It's hard to describe how it's different. I think it's just because it's just fun. It's not playing something with an end goal in mind. I know there is an end goal in mind, but you're not playing it with the end goal in mind. You're playing it, to be in the moment, to be present and enjoy that actual time you're spending then. And then the results just happen. I mean, Indy's far from perfect. There's lots of challenges she's going to throw out, but they don't faze me, because I'll you know, we'll work our way through it, and we'll go back and get that connection back if we find it we're losing it in any particular time or environment. Then we'll go back a stage and we'll keep going back to the beginning and going round and round in circles.
That's it. Yeah.
Life.
That's it. And I encourage you to do that, don't I? I do say it is for life, and if you can keep these things kind of topped up through life, it'll make life a lot easier overall. And I think it's all right me saying that. It's not till you do it you realize, actually, I can see now what you're talking about. What you're going on about.
When you come back to having been through the course and seeing where it goes, when you come back and play the first section again and build that connection even stronger, you see it from a different viewpoint. And I'm sure the next time it'll be a different viewpoint again, and so on. It can only get better. And so absolutely.
Amazing. So one last question. If there was someone considering investing in the Foundation for Life program, is there any final kind of golden nuggets you'd like to share, or what would you say to someone who's thinking about it?
Jump on it, because this really is for life. And I think that's the big difference. It's not a course that you'll do half of and pack away, and you'll then maybe come back to it or maybe not, or then you'll go move on another one. This is one that you will always do. There's always elements throughout the 12 weeks of the program that you can jump back into at any time as you need them. It's just says, I think, because it's about relationship, and that's always changing and growing. And I think so that's what it really is for life. And the results you get without realizing you're getting them, all of a sudden you just notice something and you think, oh, how did that happen? And you've got your dog sitting beside you and being really ignoring people around it, and ignoring dogs in our case. It's just amazing. You know, just to find that you've got that. Yeah, absolutely. I'll jump on it. If anybody gets a chance to do this, do it whilst it's available. No, it's just, in case something happens, just keep it, get it now.
In case something happens. I hope nothing happens. I hope it's going to be here for a long time. Nothing happens, but yes, definitely. I think
you can't start it early enough, and you're never too late to start it. So just get in, do it and enjoy it, and take your time. It's not going anywhere. It's take your time and just enjoy it.